Is your healing? Is your healing? Your healing? Is your healing? Is your healing? Your healing?
Hey healing besties, I just wanted to get on camera real quick and do this quick impromptu review on Kirk Franklin's Father's Day. Okay, so first of all, disclaimer, trigger warning. You can watch my review at work or listen to my review at work, but do not, I repeat, do not watch or listen to Kirk Franklin's Father's Day at work. Y'all, tears, real tears. Okay, so let's first get into my why did I want to watch this? Okay, so long story short, I am a mom of two young men, late teens, early 20s or whatever, and I did notice that while they have the same experience as far as a household, they have a father who has been mildly, when I say mildly, I'm saying this in a sense of, yes, he's going to show up to graduations. He's going to show up to birthdays if there's a party or so going on. He is a phone call away. I know he's a phone call away. I don't perceive that the boys always know that he's a phone call away. He made sure they have insurance. He paid his child support. If I needed anything extra, I knew I could call. But when it comes to being consistent, like at their practices or showing up to their games, back to school night, that was all me, 100% me. Now, the way that I've somewhat kind of coped with it was to just be like, he's not a bad father, he's a bad co-parenter. This is how I was able to come to peace with it. However, I am not my kids, and I am not a male. So for me to even try to understand what they may feel from a male perspective of not having their father around consistently, I couldn't even attempt, right? So this is my why and why I thought it would be great for me to watch. So speaking of my two kids, just to give a little background as to also why I got here, was their personalities are very different, right? Same experience, very different outcome when it comes to how they have navigated the world as a result of that trauma per se, right? So I have one who is, I don't even want to say strong-minded, but less affected by peer opinions, very solid when it comes to peer pressure. He really just don't care much. And then I have another who wants to be likable, who's very much affected by his peers, who wants to fit in more, who probably wants more or feels more of a lack of acceptance, I would say. Let me not say that. He feels accepted, but I do feel like he is quicker to maneuver in the environment and may do things that are necessarily against who he is as a result of wanting to be accepted. And to be honest, I feel like his father as well has had that trait, or I've noticed that trait in his father. So I thought this would be good to kind of feed me. I can kind of get a perspective from a man's point of view of how an absentee dad affects them, right? Didn't know it was going to be on the level of the father. We'll get there. Okay, so let's start with first how this came about was like, when I say huge universal alignment and divine intervention. I say this a lot, and I know my kids be like, mom, but I wholly believe in universal alignment and divine intervention. There's so many things that we go through in life and we don't understand why certain things happen a certain way, and then later it's like like there's no way this could have lined up the way it did without someone, or not someone, but without some form of spirit aligning things up. You get what I'm saying? So long story short, I don't want to get the story wrong because it was a quick listen to while I was at work. But long story short, you know, how he found out about his dad and how his dad found out about him, in regards to the nature of the relationship, was exactly that. It was like right place, right time, right people. Just connected, you guys. Connected, right? So, listening to him, it was just really, really sad. And I'm thankful that my son's father was around enough that they know him, right? They know him, they know of him. They don't have this absence of identity, like a hole in your identity because you have no idea who this other individual is whose DNA is flowing through you. You know, like I can't even imagine what that would feel like. And you have this big personality such as Kirk Franklin sitting on this huge pedestal, in a sense, in front of the world, and he's telling and carrying this heavy insecurity of not knowing who he is wholly. You know what I'm saying? So that was really, really a major takeaway for me on this. And then when they got the DNA test, and he found out the guy that he thought was his dad, and he had been very, very hard on, wasn't his dad. And him knowing that he had to process this huge lie that he had been living. And then the lie wasn't even by choice of him, was very, very profound as well. And I know that is going to hit some major pain points for a lot of people who have experienced that. I, for one, refuse to ever play a part of that in my kid's life. So whether their father is present or not present, I have to be honest with them, because the detriment that it does later when this child learns that they've been processing emotions based on a lie is even a heavier toll to take. You know what I'm saying? So I was really disappointed when he had the call with, I believe, with his mother or adopted mother. I wasn't exactly sure who Deborah was. I'm going to be honest with you guys. With Deborah's sister, and the energy behind the conversation was very, very weird for me. Like, very weird for me. And it saddened me that, and it gave me the idea, and it made me very, very sad to think about along this journey, he really didn't have the support he should have. And even and dealing with this as a grown man, even thinking about this grown man was once a child who was not given the support to process this particular huge thing in his life, was probably also a very, very huge problem. Okay. And then when he sat down with them, you guys, and he told them what the DNA test was, this be Deborah and Deborah's sister, the denial was heavy. She was really, really in denial. And I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, ma'am, if you don't let this go, or if you don't find a way to support your son at this point, okay, like, for real, if you don't find a way to support your son in this, just like she said, you're gonna lose him. Ma'am, respectfully, I know you might have been young, but respectfully, you're a grown woman now. Take your big girl pill, sis. Take the big girl pill. So anyway, and then let's add another layer to the man who is actually his father. Seems to be a very amazing man. Imagine, like I somewhat get it in cases where the father is dangerous. He is dangerous for the child. I know it exists. And I don't want to be that person who don't want to recognize that. Because, a little quick story time, you guys. I remember one time I was speaking with a young lady. And this is probably giving too much of my business, but you're going to get it when you get it, okay? Speaking with a young lady, she had a baby, and she didn't want the father around the baby. Like, she was putting him through, running him through circles or whatever. And I couldn't understand, right? Now, granted, I had 2 boys. I was married, so on. And so I could not understand how it was okay to lay down with this man unprotected. You trusted him enough to do that, but you don't trust him enough with you guys, because this ain't just yours, y'all's child. Until I had to experience it myself. So I don't really want to put it out there. I don't really want to be passing a judgment. But unfortunately, however many years later, because I don't know how old Kirk Franklin is exactly, but this man seems like he would have been more of an asset than a detriment to his life. And he suffered greatly as a result of the decisions that were made to not have this man in his life. Now, speaking from a creative perspective, it healed my soul to see that he used this moment and turned that pain into passion and put it into his work. If you're creative and you're watching this, you already know how healing creative energy is. How important it is to sometimes take the pain that you go through in life and put it in your work. Sometimes our best work comes from trauma that we poured into it. Right? So, anyway, I just want to leave you guys with this last one, where he said, I have only known me broken. Y'all, when I tell you that right there, if I didn't get anything, well, the purpose of it, let's be clear, the purpose of it was for me to listen to it so that I could better kind of help my sons heal through whatever feelings they had in regards to their father, because they're not always, open about it. Like, they often seem they're even on the cuffs of very nonchalant about it, or very like cutthroat about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't always read them. But if I didn't get anything from this, it was that one statement. I only known me broken. Because as I go on this journey, it's sometimes more difficult than expected, because of the fact that I'm learning a new me. Like, I've never been this person before. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the bigger part of it is because I've been giving myself grace. I've been giving myself a heavy amount of grace to learn this new me and navigate this world as the new me. But I'm often taken back by interactions with people who have known me prior to, and the way that they move with me. Sometimes it's like, wow, who was I before that they thought this particular act, behavior, or whatever is going to fly? Was I that much of a doormat? Here's the truth. Here's the truth. I don't even think it's that I was that much of a doormat. Number one, people are going to trash it. Like, it is what it is. People are going to trash it. And when I meet new people when they try stuff, that don't bother me as much. It's the people who know me. But I am learning over the last week or so, I've had some new experiences in this particular area. And I'm learning that I got to give those people grace too. To some extent. To some extent. I'm going to express my boundaries. You're not going to get cut off at the first. Let me break down what my boundaries are. It's not that. It's the constant disrespect or not acknowledging or accepting that I've expressed these boundaries to you, right? But nonetheless, I think, like I said, you got to give yourself grace that you're navigating as a person who you've never been. Okay? But also give the people who love you, because we know who loves us and who don't. The people who love you the same amount of grace to learn the new you as well. So that is pretty much my review on Kirk Franklin's Father's Day, guys. It was really, really good. I really want you all to watch, especially if you're a single mom of boys. I want you to watch this as well. And last takeaway, I really hope that this experience, because if you watch it, you see at the end that he sits down with Kirion, his son, who he's had a strained relationship with. And his son says to him, yeah, I don't know how to respond to this because I'm already feeling like it's bad, and you haven't even started talking. In addition, you haven't responded to my text messages in a while. So, two things here. One, I'm happy that Kirk Franklin decided, regardless of what's going on right now, I need to reach out to my son, and this is a moment we have to share together, right? I'm glad that he did that he pushed that aside and he buckled down. But I hope this helps. And because I hope this helps, but also because the father that he's now found out is his father seems to be a very grounded man. I hope he helps bridge that gap for Kirk Franklin and his son, because I can tell that his son loves his father and he needs his guidance in some form. But Kirk Franklin also is going to have to learn how to meet his son where he is and accept his son for who he is. And I can tell you right now, it's not an easy feat and for a parent, but it makes a great deal of a difference in regards to how you're able to navigate a relationship, parent and child, when you're able to do so. I give my mom big kudos because she is a heavy Baptist Christian PK kid, you guys. She is it in all essence, okay? Her daughter, not so much. I don't subscribe. And it took a while. And it's still, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's still a work in progress. It is very much a work in progress. Some days she get it, some days she don't. But what I can say is she's learning and she's trying to grow in that space and accept me for who I am and accept me for where I'm at. And so, anyway, guys, I just wanted to drop that for you guys real quick. I went and took a lunch. I don't never take a lunch, you guys, but I had to take a lunch to drop this for you guys because I'm going to tell you right now, when I get home, little sis ain't letting me do it, okay? She don't be letting me do nothing, y'all. I be struggling to get this content out. But until next time, love yourself, protect your energy, and deal with life's bullshit with grace and gratitude. Love ya.